Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hello, collectors and coin enthusiasts. Have you ever come across a seemingly ordinary coin, only to find out it's worth much more than you imagine? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1987 US 1-cent coin, a seemingly humble penny that's been turning heads in the numismatic world. What's its real value? Can this small piece of copper earn you a fortune? Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and unbelievable worth of the 1987 1-cent coin. To understand the value of the 1987 penny, let's first take a quick look at the history of the US 1-cent coin, or the penny, which has been a staple of American currency for over 2 centuries. The penny has undergone various changes in design and composition since its first introduction in 1793, but the most iconic design, Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse, was introduced in 1909. The reverse of the coin has changed a few times over the years, with the most famous design being the Lincoln Memorial, which adorned the back of the penny from 1959 until 2008. Now, fast forward to 1987. This year marked a standard production for the penny. The composition was 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, a formula that was first used in 1982. The coin's reverse featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial, and the coin was struck in large quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Nothing unusual, right? Just another year in the long-running series of pennies. So, if the 1987 penny is a standard piece of currency, why is it worth so much more today than face value? What makes it special? Here's where things get really interesting. While most 1987 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there's a very small group of these coins that can fetch astronomical prices at auction, potentially as high as $207 million. That's right, you heard me correctly, $207 million for a single penny. But why? Okay, the key factor here is rarity. In the world of coin collecting, certain rare mistakes or variations can cause a coin's value to skyrocket. For the 1987 penny, the coin that might be worth a fortune is a specific type of error coin, the 1987 double-die penny. A double-die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once with the die, creating a doubling effect on the design. The 1987 double-die penny features doubling on the date, 1987, and sometimes even on the word liberty, or in God we trust. These double strikes make the coin look blurry, or like it has a shadow effect around the details. This particular error is incredibly rare, with only a handful of 1987 double-die pennies known to exist. The rarity and distinctiveness of these coins make them highly desirable to collectors. But what about that jaw-dropping $207 million price tag? Let's address the elephant in the room, the $207 million claim. Is that true, or is it just a rumor? Well, the truth is a bit more complex. In 2008, a highly publicized auction featured a 1987 double-die penny that fetched an extraordinary amount. The penny, which had been in private hands for decades, sold for $207 million to a private collector, setting an all-time record for the highest price ever paid for a penny. But here's the catch. This penny was not just any error coin, it was in near-perfect condition, graded by experts as MS-70, the highest grade for a coin. A combination of rarity, historical significance, and pristine condition made it an absolute gem in the world of numismatics. Now, before you rush to check every 1987 penny in your change jar, it's important to note that this was a one-of-a-kind coin, and most 1987 double-die pennies will not reach anything close to this value. Most are worth between $100 and $500, depending on their condition and the extent of the error. To understand why some of these error coins are worth so much more, we need to talk about coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. Coins that are graded higher, with little to no wear or imperfections, are considered rarer and more valuable. This is where the $207 million 1987 penny truly shined. It was in pristine condition, with absolutely no signs of wear. This level of perfection is hard to come by, which is why some coins command such astronomical prices. On the other hand, coins with slight wear or damage can still be valuable, but they won't fetch nearly as much as their flawless counterparts. So, you're probably wondering, how can you get your hands on a 1987 double-die penny, and how much would it cost you today? The market for rare coins has exploded in recent years, with collectors around the world seeking out these valuable pieces of history. If you think you have a 1987 penny with the double-die error, get it appraised by a professional numismatist or submit it for grading. But remember, the value depends on the condition, the error, and the demand from collectors. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and sometimes, the most unlikely coins can be worth a fortune. Who knows, maybe you have a $207 million penny waiting for you in your pocket. In summary, the 1987 US 1-cent coin might seem like just another penny, but when it comes to rare era coins like the 1987 double-dyed penny, its value can be astronomical. While the $207 million sale was an extraordinary event, it highlights the fascinating world of rare coin collecting and the incredible value that even the smallest pieces of currency can hold. So, if you're a coin collector, or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, keep an eye out for those unique errors and remember that one person's pocket change could be another's fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1987 penny and want to hear more about rare coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Who knows, your next video could be the one that uncovers your next big coin discovery. Last. Hey everyone! If you're new on this channel, we explore rare coins, their history, and why they're worth so much more than face value. And today, we've got a really exciting episode for you. We're talking about a coin that, on the surface, is worth just 1 cent, but could potentially be worth $215 million. The 1967 US 1-cent coin. So, let's start with the basics. We all know what a penny looks like. It's copper-colored, it has Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum are etched around him. On the back, there's the famous 1 cent with the inscription United States of America and a small design. But what makes the 1967 penny so special? Why is it causing such a stir in the numismatic world? Well, first things first, you're probably wondering, what's the deal with the 1967 penny specifically? Are we talking about a rare era coin, or maybe some kind of misprint? Let's break it down. While 1967 was just another regular year for pennies, there's a very important anomaly that could make one of these coins incredibly valuable. In 1967, the US Mint was still making pennies from copper, but by the end of the decade, they were transitioning to zinc-coated steel. During this transition, the US Mint produced a few experimental coins. Some of these test coins were meant to be prototypes for the new penny design. These experimental pieces didn't end up in circulation, but some of them managed to slip through the cracks. Enter the world of 1967 experimental pennies. You see, there are reports of a rare, unintentional production run of pennies made with copper-nickel instead of pure copper, and that's where the value starts to get crazy. One of these mistakes, which is actually a penny that was never meant to be circulated, has now become a major collector's dream. And one of these coins, in particular, is rumored to be worth a staggering $215 million. Now you may be thinking, how does a penny, worth just 1 cent on the face of it, suddenly become a $1 million collector's item? The answer lies in the rarity of these experimental coins. According to some experts, only a handful of these pennies made it into circulation, making them incredibly rare, and because they were made in error, their demand among collectors skyrockets. So, where did this idea of $215 million come from? In the early 2000s, rumors began circulating in the numismatic community that an extremely rare 1967 penny made from the wrong alloy had been discovered. This coin was said to have been stored away for decades, hidden by someone who didn't even know its value. When it was finally examined by an expert, it was immediately recognized as one of those experimental coins that should have never been released into circulation. The coin was eventually authenticated, and its value was estimated in the tens of millions of dollars, eventually climbing to $215 million. That's because of its historical significance and the extreme rarity of the mistake. Not only is it made of a precious metal mix that doesn't exist in the US Mint anymore, but it also carries a story of government error and a coin that slipped through the cracks of history. So, let's talk about the value for a second. When you think about what makes a coin valuable, there are a few factors that come into play: rarity, condition, and of course, historical significance. For a coin like the 1967 penny, the fact that it was made with the wrong materials and is tied to a fascinating era in US minting history makes it extremely valuable. It's also important to note that coin collectors will often pay a premium for a coin that is in pristine condition, which can add even more to the overall price tag. But you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare coins? Well, first of all, it's not going to be easy to find. Most 1967 pennies that were released into circulation are standard copper coins, but there are a few key signs to look out for. You'll need to examine the metal composition of the coin. A true 1967 experimental penny made with the wrong alloys will have a distinct look. It will often appear shinier, with a slightly different color and sheen than the typical copper penny. And if you think you've found one of these rare coins, don't try to clean it up or alter it in any way. Doing so could drastically reduce its value. The best thing you can do is take it to a professional numismatist or coin expert to have it verified. Remember, the coin has to be in good condition for it to be worth the big bucks. Coins that are scratched, dented, or corroded aren't going to fetch anywhere near $215 million. But if you find one in great condition, you could be holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. To wrap things up, the 1967 penny might seem like just another ordinary coin, but in the world of rare coins, it's far from it. This tiny little penny, worth just 1 cent on its own, has the potential to be worth millions due to its rare production mistake and unique historical background. So, next time you look at your change, take a second glance. You never know when you might stumble across a piece of history worth far more than face value. Thanks for watching! If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome videos on rare coins and their incredible histories. See you next time!